The Galactic Council had classified humans as a minimal threat species for decades. Their reports indicated that humans were restricted by extensive rules of engagement, military conventions, and something called Geneva Conventions that severely limited their combat potential. The conclusion was that humans were soft-hearted creatures who handicapped themselves in warfare. Captain Vex of the diplomatic vessel, Harmonious Exchange, reviewed these reports with mild amusement as his ship approached Earth for the first official contact between their civilizations. His species, the Mavari, had conquered 3 solar systems through ruthless efficiency. The Galactic Council, dominated by similarly pragmatic species, saw Earth as a resource-rich planet inhabited by beings too constrained by morality to pose any real challenge. "We make landfall in 6 hours," his second-in-command reported. "The humans are preparing a diplomatic reception." Vex nodded. "Remember, they are categorized as non-threatening. We show respect, but understand our position of strength." The landing went smoothly. Earth's representatives welcomed the alien delegation with a formal ceremony at a military base in what humans called Nevada. Among the welcoming party was a stone-faced human in a crisp uniform adorned with colorful ribbons. "This is Lieutenant James Rivera, United States Marine Corps," the human diplomat introduced. "He will be your military liaison during your stay." Rivera's handshake was firm but controlled. His eyes, Vex noted, held something the alien couldn't quite identify, a coldness that contradicted everything in the intelligence briefings about human softness. Over the next 3 days, negotiations proceeded, amicably. The humans offered fair trade terms and showed genuine interest in cultural exchange. Vex began to wonder if the Council's assessment had been correct. These humans seemed reasonable, perhaps even naive. On the 4th day, during a tour of a museum dedicated to human warfare, Vex decided to probe their supposed weakness. "Your species fascinates me, Lieutenant," Vex said as they stood before a display of historical weapons. "You create such devastating weapons yet restrict yourselves from using them to full effect. These war crimes your diplomats mentioned, they are limitations you impose upon yourselves, correct?" Rivera's expression didn't change. "That's one interpretation." "The Galactic Council believes these self-imposed restrictions make humans ineffective warriors," Vex continued. "That you lack the resolve for total warfare." For the first time, Rivera smiled. It wasn't warm. "Your council has misunderstood something fundamental about war crimes, Captain." Vex tilted his head, curious. "Please, explain." "War crimes aren't things we can't do," Rivera said quietly. "They're things we don't do. There's a difference." "I fail to see the distinction," Vex replied. Rivera gestured toward a display showing Earth's nuclear arsenal. "Every species capable of splitting the atom can devastate a planet. That's not impressive. What should concern your council isn't what happens when we follow our rules of war." His voice dropped lower. "It's what happens when we decide the rules no longer apply." A chill ran down Vex's spine as Rivera continued. "Human history is filled with moments when we abandoned our restraint, when we decided an enemy was so threatening that our normal limitations were set aside." Rivera pointed to various displays around the museum. "In every major conflict, there comes a point where one side decides that survival outweighs morality." Vex swallowed. "You speak of theoretical possibilities." "I speak from experience," Rivera countered. "Your council thinks our rules make us weak. The truth is, they're the only thing keeping us civilized." He met Vex's gaze directly. "I've served in 3 conflicts where those rules began to blur. I've seen what humans are capable of when they believe their existence is threatened." Rivera led Vex to a small, easily overlooked display. It contained photographs from something called special operations, classified military actions that, even among humans, were rarely discussed openly. "We create rules of war precisely because we know what we become without them," Rivera explained. "Your council has mistaken self-restraint for weakness. It's actually the most terrifying thing about us." That evening, Vex transmitted an urgent, Message to the Galactic Council, reclassifying humans from minimal threat to approach with extreme caution. His report included one notable observation. Humans have not survived and thrived on a planet filled with apex predators by being harmless. They've done so by being the most dangerous predator but choosing restraint. Their war crimes are not limitations. They are warnings about capabilities they prefer not to demonstrate. The Council immediately adjusted their diplomatic approach. What was planned as a routine resource negotiation became a careful alliance-building mission instead. 6 months later, when a hostile species from the Outer Rim attempted to establish a foothold on Mars, they were met not just by Earth's military forces but by Galactic Council peacekeepers as well. The invasion was repelled with minimal casualties and strict adherence to the rules of engagement. As Vex watched the joint operation conclude, Lieutenant Rivera stood beside him on the observation deck. "You understand now," Rivera said. "It wasn't a question." "Yes," Vex replied. "Your rules don't exist because you're incapable of breaking them." "They exist," Rivera corrected, "because we know exactly what happens when we do."